Hey everyone, today's October 22nd, 2025, and I start with that because if you follow any of my writing or videos or read my book Slacker, you know that dates are important to me because I like to talk about events that happened in history and culture, particularly in music, and you know, trying to be accurate about when things occurred and how that influenced what came next. I always find to be important and interesting and fascinating. And October 22nd is a very important date in the history of what became grunge and alternative music and the entire movement, because that was the date back in 1990 where the band we know as Pearl Jam played their first official show. It was at the Off Ramp in Seattle. And I say the band we know as Pearl Jam because they weren't called that yet. If you know about the band's history, they started as Mookie Blaylock, which is the name of a basketball player from back in the day. He was on the New Jersey Nets at the time. And the band they were only about a week old, really, in terms of rehearsing and having some songs. And it's interesting because, as I talk about a lot in the book and other places, Pearl Jam, the fact that they even exist is wild because they are a sum of the parts of bands from the early 80s, in particular Green River. And from the ashes of Green River, Mother Love Bone happens with Stone and Jeff. And from that demise, after Andrew Wood dies, they get together to kind of see what they're going to do next. And while that's happening, Chris Cornell writes a tribute album to Andy Wood of Mother Love Bone called Temple of the Dog. And Chris asks Jeff and Stone and the other guitar player that the band is jamming with, Mike McCready, to join them in this, all while Pearl Jam, or what will become Pearl Jam, is working with this new singer called Eddie Vedder to, again, form what was ever to come next for them. So he's involved as well because he's around and he's in the studio when Chris is working on Temple of the Dog. So you've got Green River, Mother Love Bone, Temple of the Dog, all kind of leading toward this band called Mookie Blaylock, who within a week of forming go play this show at the Off Ramp, which has songs in their set, some songs that would wind up on the band's first record, 10. I believe Even Flow and Alive, and I'm sure Release, I believe, was in that set. Anyway, you can find it all online. But it's kind of interesting that you can trace all of this stuff to so many things before it. And I just, when I woke up today and, starting to write and looking at social media and things like that, my feed was full of, today's date as far as Pearl Jam's concerned. So I wanted to say something about it. And, it's funny. I remember back then, obviously not that date. I'm from New York. I wasn't in Seattle in 1990. So I wouldn't have known. But that date did become pretty significant in the history of Pearl Jam. So it's kind of cool to look back, kind of cool to, think about what transpired since and where we all are now. I hope that's interesting for you. I hope you learned something. Or if you knew all of this already, hope it brings you back to some of those early days and gives you something fun to talk about later today. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.